they are different. It's different translations. This is King James Version, what I use. This is an easy read version. If I encourage you to read this first, and then read this second, compare, see, help understand the view. Finished explaining your work already, trained on. Too bad. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1 through 3. I'm going to go ahead and sign it. Yes. Yes. Dumb, folly. A little bit of folly or foolishness or stupidity to him who has a reputation for wisdom and honor. A wise man's heart is on his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. We'll talk about that in a second. Verse number 3. Yea, also, when he, that is a fool, walks in the way, his wisdom fails him. And he says to everyone that he is a fool. Okay? Solomon wrote, yes. Who is him and who is he? Good question. Pronouns, right? Because you have to figure out who. He, him, always goes back to who we're talking about. So let's see if we can figure it out. Him. Who is him? Is it Solomon? People, you and me? It tells us who him is. Typically, pronouns will tell us before. This one tells us after. Him, whose reputation is wisdom and honor. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen in history somebody who is highly regarded, highly respected? They make one mistake, ruined. You know who? Hitler, one mistake. Solomon had many wives, a whole line of them. Good. David, King David, one mistake. Other examples? How about currently, right now in the world? Right now in the world. Oh, good one. Clinton. We signed Clinton. Liar. What did he lie about? Having an affair, right? He's highly respected, highly regarded. Not a terrible president, but one mistake and many people looked down on him, and he lost a lot of respect because of that. So, we know other people that's happened to. Famous people, Jimmy Swaggart, famous TV pastor who was in front of his church weeping, confessing that he had an affair. Other famous people have had Jim Baker. Yeah. Others.
Oh, Jim Baker, he's black. Okay.
President Trump. Trump. I don't know any mistakes. Trump. None. Good one. Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah.
For many years, the American father. Many people looked up to him. Many people grew up beloved man on TV. What happened? Now he's in jail. And will be in jail for the rest of his life. Yep. So, that's what that verse is talking about. Imagine, wise, very, very wise, but ruined because of one dumb mistake. It's the same thing that it's talking about at the beginning. It says a few dead flies cause the ointment to stink. Talking about medicine. Do you want stinky medicine? Do you want? No, you don't want stinky medicine. Will you trust stinky medicine? Won't trust stinky medicine. Maybe, but if you go store, buy medicine, dead bug inside, you will take medicine? No, why not? Why not? Ruined, right? I've heard another example. 1 gallon pure water. 1 little bit of sewage. Mix it up. You will drink the water? Why not? Why not? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. You will drink. If you know, you know, you saw it happen. You will drink? Maybe. I don't believe it. If you were homeless, maybe you would drink. I still don't think so. I've given homeless people food. They look at what I give them and they throw it away. They're pretty picky people. So that's what verse 1 is talking about. Don't be dumb. It's a reminder to you and to me. Don't make that big mistake. For example, Teddy Chang has been here at this church 41 years. Everybody knows Chang. Everybody respects him. But if he, tomorrow, big mistake, the community will look at him, finished, would ruin. Yeah, you'd be embarrassed. Yeah, for sure. 51 years. This church is not at 51 years. 51 years, food. I don't understand. Oh, you're teasing. Oh, I got you. Verse number 2. A wise man's heart is on the right hand, and a foolish man's heart is on the left. What's it mean? Charlotte, I'm sorry. You left-handed. You fool. Say my dad. Left-handed fool. Right? That's what the verse means? No. Who here left-handed? 2? That's it? Patty, you left-handed? You left? 3 of you. Not good balance. Who right-handed? Oh, that's why we rule the world. That's right. Okay. brain is to the left hand. What's the point of this verse, verse number 2? What's the point? What's it talking about? Sin is foolish. Understand very little. But what is this verse, verse number 2? The right hand and the left hand. What's it talking about? Nicole? If we're thinking right, we will make great decisions. If we're not thinking right, we'll make wrong decisions. Exactly right. Exactly right. How do we know right decisions? Where does right decisions come from? How do we know? Also a good question. What did she say? She said, if we think right, we will make right decisions. If we think wrong, we will make wrong decisions. Back then, when people wrote, right hand is a place of power, right hand is a place of authority, right hand is right, and left hand is weak, left hand is foolish, left hand is wrong. Left hand is closer to the heart than the right hand. That's why we wear our wedding rings on the left hand. You're right, but you're also right-handed, right? That means you're right. Don't worry about it. Who left-handed, they wrong. Don't worry. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. The left hand is closer to the heart. Some whose sports are left-handed are really good, especially pitchers. It's good to have a left-handed pitcher. You know? So all of these things are great ideas, but Nicole, you hit it right on the head. If you are wise, you'll make right decisions. But if you're a fool, you'll make bad decisions. That's what it means. Is that clear? It's interesting because chapter 10, we just started chapter 10. And chapter 10 is different than what we've studied to this point. Chapters 1 through 9 is very focused on Solomon's mind, how he thinks, all of these things. And some is very hard, yes. It's very difficult to understand. It's difficult to accept. Some is very depressing. But now in chapter 10, we kind of get a change of perspective, a change in writing style, really, because he really begins almost writing similar to how he writes in the book of Proverbs. Chapter 10 has more of Proverbs writings than he's written to this point in chapters 1 through 9. And we'll talk about more of that. The focus on chapter 10 is on wisdom and foolishness. And we'll see more as we go along. Verse number 3 says, Yea, also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way, his wisdom fails him, and he says to everyone, I am a fool. What's it mean? Have you ever seen somebody walking down the street? You look at them and you know they're an idiot. Idiot, yeah. Have you seen a person walk down the street? You look at them, no. They're dumb. They're fool. Identify. See. Boom. You saw it yesterday. Describe. saggy clothes, walking down. He looked like a smart person? No. His expression, his body language, you notice them, you see it right away. You can, and don't, be careful that we don't identify based on culture differences or because of different styles. But I've seen people, I saw one maybe about a month ago. Me and my wife were walking at nighttime. We went on a walk, pushed along Ethan with us. We're walking down. I walked from my home down to Metcalf, and down. I got to the corner of Metcalf and 75th Street, and I saw a guy on the opposite corner. There's a bus stop over there, near where the haircut place is, over there. I saw a guy, and he's over there, near the bus stop, talking to himself, just going on and on. He looks at the ground and starts yelling at the ground. Mental problems? Probably. I guess something else. Drugs. Oh yeah, I can hear him. Make no sense what he's talking about. You can't understand the words that are coming out of his mouth. Babbler. No, you're right. Babbling. Yeah. You see him right away and you know there's a problem. Would I walk up to that person and say, hey, I need advice. You a wise man? No. Why not? You know he's not wise. You see it. The same way, a fool, you see them, you know they're not wise right away. They tell you by their actions, you know. You can identify them right away that they are a fool. Suppose the person had some mental disease or bad background, abuse. I called the police. I said, hey, there's somebody who probably needs help. Just to let you know. What happened after that? No idea. But I'm concerned for that person, yeah. Do I think that person is wise? You merciful, yeah. What's wrong? I'm going to help you. Yeah, it'd be great. They need help, probably, yeah. There's something wrong, for sure. But are they wise? Before wise, maybe. Now, no, because of a bad life. You're right. Whatever their situation right now, they're not wise. And it's easy to see that. Agreed? Good. Let's move on. Verse 4 through 6. Let's sign them, and then we'll talk. If the spirit of the ruler rises up against thee, don't leave your place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. Verse 5. There's an evil that I've seen under the sun. Again, what's it mean? Under the sun. What's it mean? On earth. Right? There's an error that proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. Verse number 4. Marianne, you said it exactly right. Say it again. Watch Marianne. The boss chews you out, you quit and leave mad. Or you just accept it and there's forgiveness there. If you get mad, I'll repeat it. Marianne said, if the boss comes and chews you out, you get mad, quit, and leave. Is that good? Vicky said, I don't know. Why not? Why not? Sometimes you want to work for a boss that chews you out all the time? No, I don't want to work for a boss that chews me out all the time. What's the problem? No job, right? I remember back when I was under David Hanson here at church, there's someone who got mad, wanted to quit their job. The boss was mean, was discriminatory. They said, no, just ignore it, just enjoy your work and keep working, and the boss will change after a while. It's good. You're going to say, similar to Hosea. Hosea's wife chased after her and brought her back. If you work at it, they'll change. I understand. I used to work for GM. I had some good bosses and I had bad bosses. Many times I wanted to quit that job. I came home, I'd say something to my wife, and my wife would say, just bear it. Please just bear it and just finish the race. I was there for 30 years and it was worth it. Had some bad bosses and some good bosses. Tom, sometimes a bad boss chews you out like 3 strikes, and I'm coming back and I'm going to say, leave me alone. Okay? I work where I work. My boss, the guy, complains to me, and I just don't say anything. I just keep working, folding laundry. The upper boss fired my boss, and that really impressed me. It's good. It's good. All of us, yes. Not finished. Oh, I'm sorry. I not mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. I was working with Zelda. I thought it was best Cindy told me that I shouldn't work there anymore. I said, okay. And then I transferred and I worked a different job. Now I'm working for Wendy's. Your choice. Your choice where to work. It's good. It's good if you have a job. Good. If you work and your boss, sometimes we get chewed out for good reasons. Sometimes we make mistakes and we should be chewed out, right? Have you ever worked, made a mistake, and your boss came to you, what are you doing? You're wrong. What are you doing? Chewed you out? Experienced? Of course, of course, of course. If I make a mistake, my boss should come to me. Now, how he should come to me and approach me, that's a different topic. But if I make a mistake and my boss comes and says, hey, you're wrong, you're dumb, you messed up, what's wrong with you? Should I get mad? You call me dumb. Blah, blah, blah. Chew him back, go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. What's gonna happen? going to get upset. I'm going to get upset. It's just going to keep going, keep going, and going. One of two things will happen. Either he's going to fire me or I'm going to quit. Right? So, if my boss comes to me and says, what's wrong? What should I do? Again, now, Solomon is just giving wisdom. Stay there. Shut your mouth. Accept. Sacrifice. Look what it says. Yielding. Yield. Is it easy to yield? No. Why not easy yield? Rodney? Understand. Why not easy yield? Why? Pride. Pride. I want to be right always. Always. So because of my pride is worth I lose my job? Well, you gotta take it. You gotta take it. Now, that's wisdom from Solomon. You don't have to. You can quit. Go look for another job. But the problem is, maybe you can't find another job. Maybe find a better job. Maybe. Maybe. But it doesn't change what the verse says. Yielding pacifies great offenses. Okay?
I become angry all the time. Next job.
If I complain this job, angry, quit, leave. Next job. Will again, angry, quit, leave. Next job, angry, quit, leave. Becomes HR. Looks your resume. Yeah, it looks bad. No pastors have resumes. Okay. Verse 5. There's an evil that I've seen under the sun, an error that happens from the ruler. So this is Solomon that's seen somebody who's in charge do something wrong. What does he see that happens that Solomon thinks is wrong? He sees that folly is elevated, set in great dignity, and the rich sits in a low place. What do you think that means? Anyone? Humble. Understand? Would you say, Marion? Fool is honored, but the rich may be jealous, not honored. But it says the rich sit in a low place.
Not
Would you say that?
not respected.
Not respected. Rich, not respected. Do you respect rich people? Do you respect? Why laugh? Why laugh? Why laugh, Nicole? It's too funny. Why are you laughing? Come on. A lot of rich people are arrogant. She laughed. That's all. She laughed. She said, rich people are arrogant. Many rich people are arrogant. So therefore, why I respect arrogant don't need respect. For example, Trump, is he rich? Stuck up. Many rich. Trump is arrogant? No. Yeah.
Painting.
Trump sympathizer. Oh, no. But many rich people. Do they deserve to be respected? Many rich people don't know God, and it's sad. They're not Christians. They have problems. But who is rich, who know God, maybe there's a difference. I'm sorry. She said rich people who are not Christian maybe don't know how. What did you say again? I'm sorry. Who rich and not know God. Problems. That foolish, but who is rich, who knows God, has Christ in their heart. It's a wonderful blessing. Okay? Try to preach the gospel to Bill Gates. Try it. Now. Notice what Solomon says. Solomon says it's an error that the rich are not respected. An error that the rich sit in low places and are not respected. And it's an error when folly is elevated and respected. Should we respect fools? No. Should we respect fools? No. Should we respect wise people? Yes. Wise people rich? It depends. Rich people worry about money. Poor people worry about finances. Both same. Chang, Abraham worked hard, sold, became rich. Other people were successful because of him, around him. There's nothing wrong with that. I agree. So what's the point here? Go ahead. What's the point to this verse? She said we, two foolish people. I wouldn't say bow down, but respect the wrong people. Do you know who the most highly respected people in America today are? President Biden, maybe. Who is the most highly respected people? If I could bring anyone here tonight, who do you want me to bring? High respect. Right now, who? Billy Graham's son? Respected in Christian circles, yes, maybe. But I'm talking about America respects who? Oprah. Probably one at the top. Who else? Who else is respected? Tim Tebow is not respected. No, he's not. He's mocked. Who is respected? Dr. Oz, Okay, who else? Trump is respected by many. Judge Judy. RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the lady who was Supreme Court, who recently passed away. Who else is respected? So we've mentioned high political leaders. We've talked about media stars. I would say the most respected people, the people that we give the most time to, are movie stars, politicians, sports, and the media. Oh, Rush Limbaugh. Yep. He recently passed. Yeah. He's a voice. Yeah. So the people that we give our time, we give our attention, we watch the most, is not pastors, is not brothers and sisters in Christ. It's movie stars, political leaders, media, and sports. Those are the four most places that we give our attention. Where's the wisdom? There. A lot of wisdom? No. That's Solomon's point, verse number 6. Folly is elevated. Sports does not matter. It doesn't matter. This team wins, this team loses. Party, yay, depressed, sad. Who cares? It's a game. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. Bets, gambling, advertising for a game. I like games. I like sports. But I have to be careful not to give too much of my time. My viewing of sports has come down because I'm old, man. Stop. I have time for maybe one more. Let's move on. Verse 7 through 10. Take time to read.
Ecclesiastes.
Ready? Verse 7 through 10. I've seen servants riding on horses. I've seen princes walking as servants on the earth. He that diggeth a pit will fall in it. Who breaks a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt. And he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he doesn't sharpen the edge, then he must put more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Again, Solomon is changing his approach in how he's writing. To this point, chapters 1 through 9 has been very introspective. Now this is different. It's a much more broad, much more outward focused, much more looking outside of himself and looking out and seeing what he sees. He says, I've seen servants on horses and princes walking as servants on the earth. This goes with the previous verse, talking about folly being set in great dignity and the rich sitting in a low place. The same idea, verse number 7. A servant who is elevated to riding on a horse. Understand, horses were reserved for rich people. If you were poor, you don't have a horse. You are the horse. You work like a horse. SSI, small income, don't have car. Or don't have nice car. Maybe. But Solomon says, I've seen low people elevated. They have horses. And I've seen the rich people, princes, downgraded and have to walk without a horse. Again, going back to the ruler who doesn't respect the people that need to be respected. Verse number 8. Verses 8 through 10, again, are very broad wisdom proverbs. Similar to Proverbs that we're studying in Sunday school on Sunday mornings. It says, he that diggeth a pit shall fall in it. He that breaketh the hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Now, notice the word shall here and here. Typically, we would sign shall. In signed exact English, see shall. Shall. Okay? Every time that you dig a pit, do you fall in the pit? Every time? No. Have you before dug a pit and fallen in the pit before? You did? You did? I still remember as a kid. I don't think I'll ever forget because it was funny. First hurt, then funny. I remember my old house, my dad had a shed, an old shed, had his tools inside the shed. Sometimes he had things outside the shed, leaned up against the shed, like shovels, rakes, etc. I'll never forget one day, I was walking around, working the yard, and I'd done some raking, and I put the rake down, and it was one of the metal rakes, not plastic. Why? Metal for weeds, hard metal. I was working, I put the rake down, I stepped, boom, right in the face. Serious, it happened. How many times seen on cartoon before? Right? Always. Tom, the cat, Jerry, the mouse. Tom, always. Or Wile E. Coyote, always. I felt like that day happened to me. It can happen. It can happen. Oops. Something happens. Also, if you're working a hedge or a wall, you're working to break it down and a snake comes out and bites you. Die. Snake bites you, maybe die. What's the point? Hold on, we'll get to the point in a minute. You remove stones. Work and remove stones. Finish. Hurt. Tore muscle. Finished. Ruined. Oh no. Or working. Chopping wood. Hurt yourself somehow. A few years ago, I was working, chopping wood. My son walked up behind me, and I hit my son, Malachi, in the head with the axe. Happened. Yeah. What's the point? Verse 8 and 9. What's the point? You asked. Interpret what? Pay attention. Happened to you? You work, farm, you step, hit your face. Many snakes. What's the point? Warning, be careful. Look at verse 10. If your axe is not sharp, you have to work harder, right? If the axe is not sharp, more hard work. Or what? Sharpen it. Right? Sharpen it. Look. He do not wet. Means sharpen the edge. If he doesn't sharpen it, it's going to be hard. Same knife. If you don't sharpen a knife, hard work. Or wisdom, a little bit more time in preparation, easier work. Hearing world, we have a saying. What? Work smarter, not harder. Work smarter, not harder. That's Solomon's point. Wisdom is profitable to direct. All this stuff can happen to you if you are not wise. If you're not wise. If you're foolish, there's consequences for foolishness. I think it depends on how wisdom. Most older people have wisdom because of experience. They've made a lot of mistakes and now they're wise. So new generation, they're not wise. They have to go through, make mistakes, and go and gain that wisdom. How do they become wise if they're young and they haven't gone through that experience? Good question. will listen to an older person and become wise. He's laughing. He said, ha, ha, ha. He doesn't believe you. I laugh because Mark is young. Nicole is offended. Nicole is offended. Me too. Nicole, me too. We're going to beat you up at church. Okay. Long time ago, a sword, they would sharpen it with a rock, sharpen it in war. Not sharpen it. Right. So, again, Solomon is making the point of gain wisdom. You are right, Rodney. Most people don't learn from wise, older people. They will make mistakes until they get the experience and learn wisdom for themselves. Traveling, you learn, or history helps you to understand. If I don't read, I don't travel, don't socialize, my wisdom will be lower. Am I willing to listen? Am I willing to learn? That comes with humility. Slow down in life? Yes. Slow down and live, read the Bible, become wise. You're right. But more than that, I can read the Bible all day. It won't help me if I'm not listening. I can read word. Gone. Did it help me? Why not? I didn't think about it. I didn't listen. I didn't apply it. Same with what you're saying. You and me can go work on plumbing in my house, and you can tell me this, and this. You told me. I know it. If I didn't listen and apply it and make it a part of my experience, I haven't learned it. Yes, most percent get a package, fix, assemble, read, manual. Most percent don't read, do it yourself. Just put it together, make mistakes, pieces. You have to follow the manual. Same with this. People don't follow the manual. Make mistakes. You're right. No. Okay. I'm going to close with that. It's a perfect place to finish. We don't read the manual. Maybe we look at the pictures. Good enough. Right? I watched a YouTube video. Good enough. Or read Bible hard. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. Read hard. Takes work. Takes time. Takes practice. Takes prayer. Takes surrender. It takes meditation. Yeah. We know the answers. Do we do it? Are we wise? I encourage you to be wise. Like Solomon is encouraging you to be wise. These are very broad, vague proverbs. Hey, do this and you can become wise. But it's still true. If you do it, you can become wise. The chapter is a positive. To this point, we've had a lot of negativity. I would say not negative, more negative than now. And I don't know if I'd call this positive. It's just different perspective. It's more of a comparison. I don't know if I think it's positive. Educational, maybe. To this point, a lot of philosophy, a lot of thinking, a lot of deep wondering. Now Solomon steps out of that a little bit and says, hey, this is good information. You should know these things. Do. Educational is probably a good word. Yeah. I'm going to close with prayer. Go ahead, Mom.
Don't lie.
We don't lie.
It's like looking in the mirror. Walk away. Forget.
Verse about that, huh? James. It's like looking in the mirror. Not fix what I see. That's right. Look. Yeah, I'm wrong. I'm not fix. Better fix. Wise. Father in heaven, thank you so much for the time to look at your word, to consider your word, to work hard to understand your word. Some of these verses are not easy to understand. Lord, we're thankful for your Holy Spirit guiding us. Help us to understand your word. Bless us now as we go home. Help us to apply what we've learned, not to see what wisdom is and ignore it, but to accept it